All right, now that we've imported the entire model and we've set up the lights again in Twinmotion, what we're going to get started with is the configurator. We can start off by setting an open and shut animation for this door here, the revolving door. Of course, Twinmotion has automatic rotating doors, but then since we are exploring configurators, we can see how we can present this door with a switch and we can open and close. So to begin with, I go to media section, and within media we have this button here that opens the configuration panel. So here we have the panel for setting different configurations. By default, you have the properties configuration, and then there's a material switch, visibility, and ambience. We will take a look at all of these. Let's get started with the properties configurator. So by properties, we mean that we can translate position, rotation, or scale, or in certain cases, changing of color, changing of light intensity, light values, and different properties of different assets in the project. So to begin with, we can add a rotation to this door. So what do? I go to the tools panel, and within tools, there's animators and rotators. So let's bring in a rotator. I'm going to place it here, pretty close to the door, and I'm just adjusting a little bit so that it matches the door position, the door pivot point. Okay, now we have the rotator in place. So this is my rotator, and I'm going to choose once. I don't want it to loop. And what am I going to do is I'm going to link the object. I want this door to rotate. So we pick this object and we link it, and that's done. Now, since we are in Properties Configurator, we hit plus and a new state is created. So this is taken as the default state. And when I hit plus, I click the rotator again and I choose not to play. So it comes back to the 0 position. So when we click this button, it opens, it closes. So these are the two states that get recorded. If you make changes in your state, you can simply hit this refresh arrow and it automatically records your state. I think the speed of the door is a little fast, so I'm going to change it to 0.2 and I'm going to refresh it again. And similarly, even while opening, I want to change it to 0.2. So that way it feels a little more natural. So we do it slowly. Yeah. Great. Now that's set up, we can simply see it in action by hitting F12. And you can see this button here that's newly created, and it's opening and closing. So what I want to do is I want to rename these states now that we know what the action is. So we can keep this as closed and we can call this open. And the interesting part is we can also pick a thumbnail. So now we can just say hit capture thumbnail. And so that records the action. And also for the other one. Okay. Now once this is set up, we might have multiple configurators on our project and we wouldn't want this switch here. So what do? We basically go click the configurator again, and we can see that we can have the location as a 2D layer where we have this on our viewport, or we can make it a 3D object which is in 3D space. So the toggle, the switch toggle, is in the 3D space. I'm going to reorient it a little bit so that we can place it at the door handle. I'm just pushing it back a little bit. Yeah, so this works approximately. And now when we click it, it opens and closes. But it would be nice if we can actually open it and close it along with the door. So how do we do that? Here is where we have our trigger, and this is our rotator for the door. So we take this and place it inside the rotator. Now when we click it, it opens along with the door, and then I'm going to reposition it, and it closes with the door too. For repositioning it, we need to bring it outside, because once it's inside the rotator, it's controlled by the rotator settings. Okay, now I'm doing this again, and I think this seems to be good. So let's do this. I hit F12, and here we go. Great. We could do the same thing and make this a double door. Let's do this again. I quit the media mode, and we can also name our configurator for the door. So let's call it door_R, open, close. So this way we have named our door. And let's get a new rotator for our left door. And we can link the object. We don't need it opening this side, so let's make it -90 and choose once and hit 0.2 for the speed. So once we have this, let's hit plus. So this becomes the initial state, and then I hit plus again to add a new state and choose the rotator and uncheck play. And I record this action. So we have this, and we have the closing action. Let's quickly rename it. Close, open, and we can grab a thumbnail. And once that's done, we can make this a 3D object as well. Let's bring it in front of our door handle, just like before. And we must add it inside of the rotator. That's it. Our rotators for both the doors are ready. We can call this door_L, open, close. So we have two configurators ready, and we can see it in action. When we hit F12, we go to the presentation mode, and we can have both these in action. Of course, we can keep it at the same height to make it even, but this is how it works.